Right, hello everyone, this is Product Shard, and today I'm going to be going over the SWAT 556. I've just got this up to max weapon level at Prestige 2, so I got this title. This is the third assault rifle that you unlock. It's a 3-burst weapon, and depending on whether you have like select fire, whether you have burst or full auto, it's basically two different guns. So I'll be going over both in the in the three classes that I recommend. But there you can see, I've been having a great deal of fun with this weapon. It takes a while to get used to, but it is great when you get used to it. Now the first class here is going to be like early on in the game, when you don't have select fire yet and you're still using burst. I recommend not to use a sight or anything, but quick draw is great, and the grip as well, just to give it that bit more accuracy, even though it is already so accurate, which you'll see in the gameplay. It is a very long range weapon when you're using the 3 burst. You do not want to be going into close quarters because it has a great, between bursts you have to wait a long time, but to compensate for this, it is very, very accurate. So when you are at the long to medium range and you're kind of getting the shots in first, and you're accurate, you will get the kill pretty easily. It's hard to use at first, but you do get used to it, and when you do get used to it and you're getting those 1 burst kills, it is a very powerful gun, and you will dominate a lot of people. It's got like a long delay between the bursts that you fire, which makes it pretty difficult to use at first, and I do think to kind of balance it out, they should like lower that delay by a little bit. It does seem a little bit too long compared to like the B23R and another one, and the Chicom, which have literally no delay whatsoever, and this one having like a half-second delay, or it's probably not even that long. It can make it a lot more difficult to use compared to those two. There's no need for a sight except maybe ACOG when you've got it on burst, because the iron sights, you do get used to them pretty quick. They don't take up much of the screen, it's pretty easy to see where you're firing, and because of the accuracy it won't be going all over the place, so it is pretty easy to line up. The ACOG is just good if you're on probably a map like this where you're going for those longer range shots. The ACOG is kind of useful, but you do want to kind of save your 1 out of 10 points from a sight, which you don't really need, it's not necessary, for something like a grip or quick draw or something like that, or like a suppressor if you want it as well. You want to kind of save the points for things that are necessary rather than things that just are kind of a bit useful. But yeah, quick draw is definitely like a must-have when you're using this, I think, especially if you're going more into the medium range situations, because you'll be wanting to bring your sights up as quick as possible, because you want to be aiming on the person when you fire the first burst rather than burst fire as you're going to aim to them, because when your aim will finally get to them, then you're on the delay bit and you're not actually shooting at all. So you want to be aiming on their body, and then you fire the trigger, or then you pull the trigger and fire the burst, and you're a lot more likely to get a 1 burst kill or 2 burst, whereas if you're not, then you're going to do not quite as well. Overall, the burst kind of gun is okay when you first start using it. A lot of people don't like it, so they kind of give it up, but when you do get used to it, it is a pretty decent gun, as you've probably seen in this gameplay. When you get into a nice spot and the people are running at you in a line, then you're alright. The burst fire is not great, considering the delay, because when you're hip firing, you literally just want to fire as many shots as possible. So definitely don't go for the whole burst fire thing. Well, no, the hip fire, you want to be aiming at people, but there you go. Now, on to the next kind of 2 classes. I'll go over them both at the same time. It's basically having select fire, and then if you want to go loud and kind of not search and destroy, you want to have the quick draw and the grip again, because the recoil goes up a bit more, but I'll talk about that later. And then if you want kind of search and destroy, or you want to be quiet, then put the suppressor on. And then I was going around with the target finder because it obviously makes it easier to kill people and find people on search. All this gameplay is going to be search for this, because as soon as I get the select fire, I basically only use it on search. But that's just because I only play search. So I don't know how many times I said search then, but never mind. Search, for anyone who doesn't know, is search and destroy. Just to let you know. But yeah, these people were camping in a building, and this gun allowed me to kill a lot of them. So, the SWAT, when you put fully auto on, the recoil kind of goes through the roof. It is just kind of mad, but it shoots so quickly. It empties a magazine really, really quick, but that also means that if you get your sights on someone, it also kills them very, very quickly. It's much easier to use than when it's got burst. As you can see, I just took out a whole building of people on search, and none of them really put up a fight. But it's much easier to use than the burst, so a lot more people, like once you get to this point, you will find it a lot easier to use, and a lot more people like it. But this is another round again where I kill a lot of people. It's brilliant for S&D, as I was saying, because of the high fire rate, and as soon as you get a suppressor on, then you're also like, no one knows where you are anyway. But yeah, the fire rate and the hip fire also becomes a lot better, and it's just generally good for basically everything. The target finder is a bit unnecessary for this, but this was because I wasn't really used to the iron sights yet, and it was just helping me out. But yeah, if you get rid of that, then you get the extra 1 out of 10, which you can put into a grip to lower the recoil. But even then, you don't really need the grip, because the recoil can be controlled once you get used to it. As you see here, I'm able to kind of tailor it to go round. Instead of it just going way off to the left, you pull right, and it's not always like upward recoil. There is quite a lot of left and right, but the upward you can control pretty easily. So it is more of a short and medium to close range weapon, this, because the recoil makes it way too hard to kill people a long way away. So this is a lot more close quarters. It's where when you don't have like the suppressor and stuff, I was using it on Nuketown and things like that, and the recoil kind of makes it seem like you're not going to hit them, but you actually, like, I don't know why, but you hit them a lot more than you think you should, and it just because of the sheer number of bullets, you kill people so quickly. As you see here, like, it was literally 2 or 3 bullets to kill them, and those 2 or 3 come out so quickly that they're just basically dead straight away. You will always need to use primary gunfighter on this because, well, not always, but I would recommend using primary gunfighter because the select fire it just needs to be there if you're going to obviously use it fully auto, and having another 2 attachments does make it good. You can just put like the suppressor or just the quick draw on or something, and use something else, but I would recommend using primary gunfighter. Get as many attachments on there as possible, tailor it to the game type that you're playing, and you should find it a great gun to use. Just give it a chance, like wait until you get to select fire to judge it. You obviously don't have to go through 2 prestiges of it, but once you get to select fire, you should find that it's a lot more fun. And it is probably, bar like the Chicom, which is just the funniest gun in the game, probably. I would definitely say that this is one of the funnest guns, and the one I've had the most fun with as soon as I get the fully auto, and been playing on search. On other game modes, it was alright, but on just... It's just a great gun to use. If you're bored of, like... Well, I guess you probably wouldn't be bored of using OP guns, like the PDW and stuff. But if you want a different assault rifle that maybe people aren't using, there was the Scar, which I did, which not many people use that. But if you want something a bit different, a gun that obviously takes... It probably does take a lot more skill than other guns, and because of that it takes a while to get used to it. But if you want something that's different, that you're not going to see every other person using, then give this gun a go. It is just fun. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.